under the sign of the sun god, the concealed Lucifer, Satan, or the devil. Mr. Steele adds one of the thoughts of another writer who claims to know the truth about the origin of the name America. It is important to note that not only are the people living in the United States of America Americans, all of the people who live in the New World are Americans. The continents are called North America and South America, and regions are called Latin America and Central America. Here is the official position as written by Manly P. Hall, one of the greatest Masons of all time, in his book entitled America's Assignment. Since the serpent is frequently a symbol of Lucifer, it is no exaggeration to extrapolate from this that America may well mean, please America, hold on, this is not going to be pleasant, land of Lucifer, also called Satan, the devil. So that revelation that America was named after Amaru, another name for the feathered serpent god. And the feathered serpent is a symbol of Lucifer, another name for Satan, the devil, is quite possibly the true explanation of the naming of America. I am convinced that all of what we have studied so far has convinced me that America was named after Lucifer by our founding fathers. That means that this nation's founding fathers knew that. They were announcing the birth of the New World Order when they dedicated this nation to Lucifer, also known as Satan or the devil. They knew who America was named after. That is why they placed the Great Pyramid, a symbol of the temple of initiation, into Lucifer worship and the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States. That is why they placed the Eye of Osiris, the sun god, concealing worship of Lucifer above his house on the reverse side of the Great Seal. That is why they waited to form this nation after there were 13 states. That is why they selected the American eagle as this nation's national bird. That is why they declared their independence on July 4th, a concealed sun holiday. I would like to go back and remind you that the pyramid on the back of our dollar bill is a symbol of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, and then show you that those who built the Egyptian pyramid connected it to Lucifer, Satan, the devil. They connected the building of the Great Pyramid of Khufu with the mystical number 13. This is a book entitled The Mysteries of Chartres, I presume, I don't know how to pronounce it, Cathedral. I won't spend time on discussing the connection between this Catholic cathedral and the Masons, but this author discusses the pyramid in Egypt, and it is this that I would like to spend a few moments on. He makes the observation that the Egyptian pyramid is built on an angle of inclination of 51 degrees and 25 minutes. And then he makes the observation that the angle can no longer be measured exactly because the polished limestone facing on the outside of the pyramid has disappeared. Now this is a line divided into 13 equal sections. And if you take a line, this line, and create a triangle with sides of 4 sections and a base of 5, you get the angles in the sides of 51 degrees and 19 minutes. This is extremely close to the estimation of the angle of inclination on the Great Pyramid of Giza. And then I would like to remind you that 13 is the value assigned to represent Satan. It appears as if those who built the Great Pyramid of Giza concealed the fact that it was dedicated to Lucifer in the angle of inclination. They knew. It all seems to fit together. Now let me briefly prove that the Masons who named this nation and then established it knowingly worshipped Lucifer, also called Satan, the devil. And to start, I'm going to take 3 different thoughts and link them together so that we can understand the secret inside the Masonic Lodge. This is a quotation from Albert Pike, the leader of the worldwide Masonic movement, in his book entitled Liturgy. The symbols and ceremonies of Masonry have more than one meaning. They rather conceal than disclose the truth. They hint it only, at least, and their varied meanings are only to be discovered by reflection and study. So as I said, I shall take 3 different thoughts and reflect and study their concealed secrets so that we can draw some conclusions. I would like to recommend that you consider reading my 3rd book entitled Masonry, Conspiracy Against Christianity, in which I spend a lot more time proving this claim. But let me make a brief review of this subject. This is the first link. The initiate Mason, in his first degree, called the apprentice degree, in the Blue Lodge, is brought before the worshipful master, the equivalent of their president, by the brother orator, and he asks the brother orator, apparently the equivalent of the vice president, what does thou ask, or what do you ask for this candidate? And the orator answers for the initiate, light. So the first link is the fact that the initiate asks for light. The second link consists in the fact that the word light is not defined, as far as I can tell, by reading the entire first degree ritual, but it is answered in the 3rd degree ritual, where the Mason is taught this. The all-seeing eye symbolizes the true knowledge of the deity and is the light of which the Mason travels in search. Notice that the Mason does not find the true knowledge of deity in the Bible or in his church or synagogue. He finds it in the Masonic Lodge. If he doesn't find it in his church, that means that the deity is not the God of the Bible, because you learn the true knowledge in Masonry. So therefore it is some other God. So the second link is the fact that the light the Mason searches for is the true knowledge of deity found in the lodge itself. Now, in the 3rd piece of the chain is found in this book, Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, the Mason, who wrote the rituals for all 33 degrees in the Masonic Lodge. He wrote this in the explanation of the 19th degree ritual of the Masonic Lodge. This is contained on page 321 of Morals and Dogma. Lucifer, the light bearer, is it he who bears the light? Doubt it not. I would like to confirm that Lucifer is the light bearer by defining the name from Webster's dictionary. Lucifer is a Latin name made by joining together 2 separate words to form one word. Lucifer is Latin for light, and Fere is Latin, I presume that's the pronunciation, is Latin for bearer or bringer. So Lucifer is defined as the light bearer. Now let me return to the subject of the 3 links. Notice what the Masons have just done. They put together 3 separate links into a chain, and the Mason is then supposed to link the 3 together in the following manner. Link number 1, the Mason asks for light. Link number 2, he is told that the light is the true knowledge of deity. And then, link number 3, he is taught that Lucifer is the light bearer. That means he is to take these separate statements and link them together to conclude that Lucifer Satan, also known as the devil, is the true God. Notice that the Masons can never say it directly, or millions of their members would quit. So they conceal it in their own words. May I remind you that Albert Pike wrote, "If you reflect, my brother, you will no doubt suspect that some secret meaning was concealed in these words." And the reason they had to conceal this truth from the average Mason is because if they said it directly, most of the Masons would leave the lodge. Because the secret meaning concealed in their words is their belief that Lucifer, the devil, is the true knowledge of deity. So they had to conceal it. But the Mason who studies and reflects will be able to figure it out. But there is one more statement that we must examine before we leave this subject. And that is taken from Albert Pike's book entitled Legenda. Masonry permits the utterance of false interpretations, which serve the double purpose of misleading the ignorant, the idle, and indolent. And of course, the word indolent is defined as the lazy, whom it is desirable to lead astray. So here we can see that Albert Pike, considered by most Masons to be the greatest Mason of all time, is calling his brothers who do not see the secret ignorant. That doesn't seem to be very brotherly to me. Now let me show you that the Masons do not teach that the God who created the universe is the true deity. The first 10 words of the Bible are, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." That means that God created the universe out of nothing. Notice that there was a beginning, meaning that there was a time before the creation when there was no universe. Because if the universe was already there, there would have been no beginning. But the Masons do not believe in that creator God. Let me quote Albert Pike once again. This quote comes from page 109 of Pike's explanation of the 29th degree in his book entitled Agenda. And this is what he wrote. "To say that the world came forth from nothing is to propose a monstrous absurdity." That means that the Masons consider a belief in the Creator God to be a monstrous absurdity, because they believe that the universe has been here forever. I've shown you the actual words of the Masons to show you that they call their God the great architect of the universe. Architects do not build anything. They draw plans for builders to build things. But even those builders do not create the building materials out of nothing. They build with pre-existing materials, or at least change the materials from one form to another, like pre-existing trees to lumber to build their houses with. I've shown you the evidence that they connect the Masonic God to a worship of the sun god. And Albert explained that their sun god is not a builder either. Amun-Ra was an Egyptian sun god, and Albert Pike wrote this on page 281 of Morals and Dogma. The supreme being of the Egyptians was Amun, a secret and concealed god, and the original light. He creates nothing. So the original light, the sun god, is the concealed god, and he created nothing. And it was not Lucifer who created the universe, it was the creator God. So the Masons are teaching their initiates that the true knowledge of deity is that